Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Defenders Live. I'm your host, Laura Thorson. Tyler Tharp is the lead instructor at Synergy Training Group, known for a multidisciplined approach that blends performance, mindset, and real-world application. He's a competitive shooter across two-gun, USPSA, and IDPA, and classified as master in IDPA and USPSA, but his background goes far deeper than that. Tyler has worked as an academic tutor and Christian mentor, served as a team captain, and he was the director of safety and security for his church. That combination shapes how he teaches and how he coaches people through pressure, failure, and growth. In this conversation, you'll gain insight into how to train more effectively, break through fear-based performance ceilings, evaluate today's training landscape, and apply lessons from the range directly to your life. Before we get started, make sure you're subscribed, whether you're watching on Rumble or YouTube or listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or anywhere else you find this show. If you don't want to miss another episode, head to defenders-live.com and become a free subscriber. That way, every new episode gets delivered straight to your inbox. And if you're looking for top-tier firearms and self-defense training, go to defenders-usa.com and check the calendar to see what's coming to your area this year. I've been anticipating this interview for a while. I'm really looking forward to it. I have a lot of notes that I've taken that I want to ask you questions about. And I met you for the first time last year at a Girl in a Gun national conference, just briefly. But one thing I've noticed about you through every interaction that I've had with you, whether it was in person or over the phone, because we had a recent phone conversation, is you are incredibly gracious and kind. And not only that, I've seen a few videos of you shooting, and my jaw drops open when I watch you shoot.
Sometimes they're just fun parlor tricks, but
you're legitimately good. You aren't just somebody out on the internet just saying things. You are actually walking the walk, not just talking the talk. And I appreciate people like that.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate that.
And also, I appreciate too the fact that you are taking a holistic approach to training.
Absolutely.
And I think that is so important. In fact, I won't give anything away, but this program that I'm developing, it's not a shooting program, but it is a program I call Fully Armed, is also a holistic approach. And I bet for a lot of the same reasons. But as far as shooting goes, you're combining competition, tactical performance, and then you have this teaching and mentoring experience that you're adding into that, and leadership. And so I'm curious, just to lead off here, how has that background in tutoring and mentoring fed into your instructional style?
Well, I mean, that's actually where I started. At the age of 14, I got voluntold by my algebra teacher to go be a tutor. Because I was always the first one turning in my homework, quizzes, all the things, and they were always like borderline flawless. So math was just always an easy thing for me. So I basically got told to be a tutor at the age of 14, and that always stayed a thing. Like I kept doing it through college and all that. And then when I was in band, I did a little bit of saxophone tutoring as well. Not much, just kind of helping the new kids get started, learn little things. Nothing like the high speed coaching of what we do today. So don't think of like me as a high school kid helping kids with thermodynamics or anything. No, it was just, hey man, you're on the brink of failure. Let's see what I can help here.
Yeah.
And then it seems like every job I've had, I've been able to relate to people really well, and not like I can relate to anyone, but like I can empathize with what they're doing, where they're coming from, things of that nature, and sort of motivate them in whatever job that we're doing at the time. I've bounced around all over the place because I'm kind of a gypsy at heart. Might sound kind of weird coming out of a dude's mouth, but
I've heard it all, so don't worry about that.
But I mean, all of that, I believe, or so I've been told as well, helps me relate to the shooter on the range, no matter if you are a 21-year-old female that needs a gun because she's still in college and having to walk home at night alone, things of that nature, all the
Mhm.
way to the 55-year-old veteran SWAT cop guy that wants to pass down more knowledge to his guys, or maybe even improve his ways, and everybody in between. And you can't talk to those those types of people the same way. Like you
Mhm.
definitely can't have conversations with a 21-year-old female that I could go have that I could with a 55-year-old SWAT cop.
Right.
Very different, as it should be, though.
Mhm.
And if you try to apply one language to everyone, you're going to end up um, losing a lot of business, or
Mhm.
or just not being effective in the coaching, which is what we're trying to do to begin with.
I just love that you bring that up right out of the gate. And I guess maybe I'm being biased by saying this, but I find for myself at least that many men have more trouble adapting to their students than women do. Maybe for that empathy piece, I don't know.
Hmm.
Um, I've run into some instructors who this is just the way they do it, and their class, no matter when you take it, is going to sound the
Hmm.
same, look the same, feel the same every single time. And then I've met really, really good instructors that you could take their same class 3 or 4 times, and it would
Yeah.
not be exactly the same every time. And those are the
Right.
ones I really love. So
It,
it sounds like you've caught on to that.
the ones that are, and they kind of have the same guidelines each
Sure.
class, yet
Mhm,
it's just different enough to let me know that they're evolving as well,
mhm,
which is required. I mean, stagnation is literally death.
mhm.
So if my coach isn't evolving, then why should I? Type of thing.
Which is one thing to look for as a student, correct?
Absolutely.
I'd say
Like,
one of the main things.
if you're gonna go out and find an instructor, look at his current performance and how he's delivering information, what he's saying, and compare or her and compare it to 10 years ago. If it's the
Mhm,
same thing, like
mhm,
verbatim, are they in it just for money? Like,
mhm.
because I do not think the same way now that I did 10 years ago. Thank God. And I won't think the same way in 10 more years because things change. My belief patterns might change or evolve. I'm going to mature more, so on and so forth.
Well,
So,
we hope people mature, but
yeah,
some don't.
right.
So I'm gonna put you on the spot then. You said you
Yeah.
don't believe the same thing now as you did 10 years ago. Can you give us an example of something you've changed your mind about, even recently?
Oh, man. Let's see. Well, ballistics data. I used to be the typical dude that thought 5.56 and 2.23 had an over penetration issue and would be a silly home defense gun a little
Mm,
over 10 years ago. But at some point, I just started getting really nerdy into all the external and terminal ballistics of different popular calibers. I mean, I'm not looking at the new 25 RPM or something like that, but like all your common stuff, I kind of wanted to see
mm,
how it performs and learn that no. And in fact, if you, most projectiles coming out of a AR-15, 5.56, 2.23 do not at all have over penetration issues. In fact, it actually has in a lot of cases barrier penetration with optimal terminal effectiveness afterwards issues. Wow, that was a bunch of word salad.
yes, it was. I'm not sure I know what you mean there. Didn't you put up a very controversial post recently about 45 caliber, and then you added a couple
Yeah,
other calibers to it? Could you talk about that? Because I
sure.
vaguely remember you stirring the pot on that.
Oh yeah. Starting the year off right.
Yeah.
So that's my buddy Justin Mateer up in the Northeast. Forgive me, I don't remember exactly where. Somewhere up in the really cold Northeast where they have to shoot indoors all the time. But anyway, I shared one of his posts saying that the 45 doesn't really have a practical place in today's defensive pistol use.
Oh, man,
Um,
them's fighting words, Tyler.
yeah.
Yeah,
You don't get any more terminal ballistic. It's all right as far as shooting a human goes. Okay,
yeah,
we're not talking about hogs out in South Texas or
right.
mid Texas. We're not talking about grizzly bears in the Northwest or anything like that. Any thick skinned animal. We're talking about human beings that
Mhm,
at most we might have two jackets on because it's cold outside.
Mm-hmm.
You are getting no appreciable difference terminally between a 45, 40, 357 Magnum, 41 Magnum, 357 Sig, and 9mm. Like all of those, outside of very specific niche things, produce the same exact terminal effectiveness in the human body, and people just refuse to believe that.
Mm-hmm.
But
So how do you know that, Tyler?
oh, lots of testing. A
Okay.
crap ton, and not my testing. This is all the like FBI testing, individual testing,
Okay. So you've
third
looked
party,
into
non
that
biased
research.
type of stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, and studying their results.
Cool. Okay. That's new information to some people. So
Yeah.
that's cool.
Yeah, and so like any projectile that's moving below about the 2,200 feet per second threshold, the quote unquote temporary wound cavity that a lot of bullet manufacturers claim is effective is total marketing crap.
Mm.
It that that creates zero difference in the human body. You have to be pushing a bullet extremely fast for that to have hydrostatic shock and cavitation of the fluids in the body that creates a very quick effect in the body that could end the fight. So
Mm.
pistol bullets don't do any of that. That's why we can shoot a tiny little 22, 55 grain bullet at 3,200 feet a second and it be effective because it's
Mm.
going so fast.
Wow.
Anyway, ballistics.
Ballistics. Cool. I
All that
think,
nerdy stuff we were talking about, like nobody cares.
well, some people do care. And some
Some
of it
people.
is, I mean, it's good to know this information. It's not like
Yeah,
it's not good to know.
yeah.
So let me switch gears on you a little bit then. I
Mhm,
want to go back to your background a little bit.
mhm,
You have a framework in which you use, or I don't know, maybe a methodology that you use. Is it different than other instructors that you've run into, specifically as how it applies to people's fear of failure and how that limits their performance? I want to really dig into what is it that you do with people to help them with this
mhm.
problem, because I've had this problem many times
Sure.
in many different, not just in shooting, but in other areas. And I know that my audience has too. Anybody that's human, I think,
Yeah,
has had to
100%.
work on this, right? So,
Mhm.
what are your thoughts on that, and how do you help people through that?
So that sounds like a three-piece question. Uh,
I usually ask more than one question at a time.
yeah. So to answer your first question, how do I differ from other instructors? And it's not that I'm vastly different. Just like anybody else in my shoes, we're all just like a big melting pot of all the other people we learn from.
Yeah.
So I steal things from Brian Hill, Riley Bowman, Adam Winch, Mark Smith, Tim Herron. Like I could go on and on and on and on of all these people that I've had the pleasure of being in front of and just soaking up everything that they say and do. Plus, a lot of these guys I'm on a first name texting basis with, so I can constantly bounce ideas off of them and I can
Mhm.
watch how they evolve and grow and things of that nature. And
Mhm.
I just create my own thing alongside of my experiences for the student base. So if you come take a class from me, you're basically getting a big melting pot of all the people I've trained with. Um, the second question is, or as I heard it,
How can you even remember all the I can't even remember them now, Tyler. I'm
I
impressed.
created this little graph in my head. If you
I'm
can
taking
remember,
notes so I can
and
remember
I
what
got
I even said.
so I got the three columns in my head. First one's checked off. All right, second column is
I love how you do.
failure and why we even have this. So again, this is my opinion. I don't have science to back this up. I don't wear a lab coat and go do all the studies and the things, right? It's just my analytical mind tearing apart everything and trying to figure it out. It is my belief and opinion that it's somewhere in our early years of age. I'm talking between 4 and 18. Okay. Like the most impressionable area of our entire life. Most of us were put in public schools. And even if you went to a private school, you pretty much had the same framework. And that is this: here's this information, memorize it, take a test. If you didn't memorize it good enough and basically regurgitate this information on a piece of paper in the time limit we've given, you're a failure. Or reading comprehension, which is a problem that I have. If you do not comprehend this book or this literature or whatever the way that we think it should be interpreted, you're wrong. But wait a minute, isn't it called reading comprehension? Isn't that subjective? How am I getting objectively graded on something that's incredibly subjective? This doesn't make much sense. But we don't know any better because we're 8 years old.
Right.
We're just doing the thing. And then,
Right.
like, we get punished if we fail at anything.
Mhm.
And if you come from a household like me, a C is a failure. And
Mhm.
like we were graded on the 93 and up as an A, 84, something like that as a B. So like the threshold for C was an 83, I believe, or something like that. So like if you weren't getting all A's, you're being lazy. If you got a C, you were being a failure. And that man, at such a young age, what I believe that turns into is this irrational fear of failure in our adulthood. We are scared to go do something or learn a new thing or try to perform in any way
Mhm.
uh, because of that fear of failure. Like, oh man, someone's going to grade me, however, whatever, or they're going to dictate me as a person, my value in life, things of that nature, just because I didn't do this thing perfectly. And go ask any major ball player, any major sports player. Hey man, how many times did you fail at this? And they're going to not be able to tell you an exact number, and it's going to be like if they could, it would be a huge number. So
Mhm.
I promise you this: Michael Jordan has missed more baskets than I have ever made.
Mhm.
I'm not a basketball player, so that's an easy number to come up with. But like, you know, you could you could take that idea and apply it to a lot of things. Um, all right, the third question is how do we get people to overcome that? Uh, it is my belief that from all of that childhood of being graded on your performance of things and basically that turning into who you are and your value as a person,
Mm.
we have all kind of gotten this inner identity crisis that we haven't quite solved yet. We've faked our way through it. I mean, we're grown adults. We've gotten by, right? We have survived, but we haven't truly thrived, I believe, or most people haven't until they have fixed this internal identity crisis and figured out what their value is in life and how they give other people or share their value with other people if they choose to do so. Some people don't care to, but all right. So, um, and a lot of this come from different reading of things and Lanny Basham's with Winning and Bind is what sparked a lot of this.
Mhm.
The Inner Game of Tennis and a couple of books like How Adults Learn and whatnot. But anyway, what I do in classes to get people over this performance ceiling of their identity crisis is, and this is during lunch on day one, even if it's just a 1 or a 2 day class. The first question is this, and it's actually two questions, but you got to figure out which one to answer depending on where you are in life. It's who are you, and if you don't know who you are, who do you want to be? All right, you got to figure that out. So who are you, or who do you want to be? Second part of the question is how are you that person? Or if you don't know who you are and you want to be a specific person, how are you going to become that person?
Hmm.
Now, you have to sit down, you have to think about this. I'll give you 10, 15 minutes, and
This
then
sounds
you
like a
stand.
journaling exercise, Tyler.
It's a what exercise?
It sounds like a journaling exercise almost.
I'm You have to text me that. I'm gonna look into that.
I mean, you could write your thoughts down on about this, or are people just telling you verbally what they're thinking?
Yeah. Okay. So, and after the 10 or 15 minutes of them deciding how to answer those two questions, they have to stand up and they have to say it proud. Like they have to own it. You can't just like rubber stamp it type of thing. And I'll give you, and we call it the mission statement. And once they do that, ideally what you do is you take a bunch of sticky notes and you would write your mission statement down, your identity and mission statement down, and put it in common areas in your house. So on your mirror while you're brushing your teeth, in the dashboard of your vehicle. And you don't necessarily have to read it out loud, but that friendly reminder of when you wake up in the morning, like, this is who I am. This is how I'm going to be that person, that extra little pep talk in the morning, especially on Monday mornings when the coffee ain't kicking in fast enough, or, put it on your ceiling or by your bedside stand, attach it to your phone charger. So it's the last thing you see when you go to bed, things of that nature. And eventually you won't have to have these sticky notes everywhere because it'll just be in your mind, and you can just blurt it out loud and proud at any moment. So, but like, I'll give you mine.
That was going to be my next question.
I am an up and coming national level instructor, and I will become that become that coach by serving my process and serving my student. That's my mission and identity statement. Now, you say, Tyler, well, eventually you're going to be that person. So do you just keep saying that? No. Like what we talked about earlier, every 10 years or so, you become a different person. And even within that 10 years, you meet certain goals, which are milestones, not destinations. And you should be reevaluating this. It should be a completely new statement or tweaked however you need to keep pushing you to your next goal and milestone. So 3 answers there.
So before the identity and mission statement was to become a national level instructor, what was it 10 years ago?
Wasn't smart enough to have one. This is a relatively new thing.
It's a new thing.
This past 3-4 years, for something like that. Yeah. And within that mission and identity statement, I also have my internal one, and I stole this from our good friend Mikos Beach, and I'll never forget his. His is I am a trophy husband, and I will do that by serving my wife. Something to that effect. But I remember trophy husband being in there.
Wow.
And I was like, oh, I'm stealing that one. I'm like sort of adding that one into my mind of my mission identity statement as well.
Okay, so here's a dumb question then. How does finally arriving at that identity and mission statement help you become a better shooter?
Ah, well, great.
Do you need one directly specific to shooting?
I mean, you can. Your identity and mission statement is simply to start removing, chipping away at that fear-based ceiling that all of us have, because a big portion of that is not owning our identity.
Focusing your attention on where you're going and not where you came from, kind of a thing. Is that kind of what you're after?
And it needs to be process focused as well. That's why the second part of that is, how are you that person, or how are you going to become that person?
Okay, yeah, put something into action.
Yep, and it needs to have a positive connotation as well. I'll give you an example. I was teaching a young cop up in Alabama a couple years ago, and he said somewhere along his statement was never satisfied. I'm like, I like where you're going at that, but we need to change it. That's a negative connotation, and
right.
Like it could. I don't think that's going to help you any. However, what if we said always hungry?
Yeah.
Or always going for more, or something like that. I don't care how you phrase it, as long as it has a positive process to it.
Okay, I have a question then. So I know you're a really, really good shooter, and I've watched you, and I would be like, oh my gosh, I would love to be able to shoot like that. I mean, it looked like the video was sped up. It was so fast, even though I know it wasn't. But when I even think about shooting like that, there's immediately this mental like, no, that's not you, right? That identity that's not who you are. Okay, I get that. But what if you're on like right on the verge, like your skill level technically is really getting there, but your mental state is lagging behind. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Then when you step to the line, is there something you do in the moment? And maybe you don't have this problem, but there's got to be something you can relate this to.
Yeah.
Where you get stepping to the line can be a metaphorical thing, right? When you step to the line and it's go time, right? What is the thing you can do to override those voices in your head that are saying you're not good enough, or whatever it is that is in your mind? You get where I'm going with that question?
Yes. All right. There's 2 parts, in my opinion. One, you need a make ready process. whatever you're making ready for. Right? I steal the term "make ready" from USPSA and IDPA because it's easy and it makes sense.
Hmm.
This can apply to anything,
Anything.
shooting
Yeah.
sports. You need a make ready process, and you need to believe in that process. And if and you need you've got to overcome the hurdle that I fought forever to get over. Of if something goes bad or wrong, so what? It's
Mm.
okay.
You gotta let
You're
go of that.
human. Just fix it and keep going. Don't drag
Yeah.
that problem into the next task at hand. Like,
Right.
oh my God, you
So
flubbed a
that's
reload.
living in the
Well,
moment, fully living in the moment.
yeah. So like, oh my God, you flubbed a reload. So what? So has everybody else. Like, yeah, I've yeeted a mag like across the bay before. It's okay. It's gonna happen. That's why you have another one on your belt. Grab that one, do it again.
Right.
But like
Okay.
sometimes, it. God, I hope Riley Bowman listens to this because he's absolutely gonna giggle. Um, Years ago, he's like, "Man, stop trying so hard. Stop getting so frustrated with yourself." And I was like, "Yeah, that's easy for you to say, yada yada yada, yada," because I was still a thick skulled pain in the butt, and it took me years to finally implement what he had been telling me. And when I did, it unlocked percentages of
Yeah.
performance.
I've had that experience too, but I've had it in glimpses.
Mhm,
It's usually, I mean, I think the most prominent one I can think of is a Brian Hill class, where in
mhm.
the moment I didn't just pretend like I was letting go. I actually did, you
Yeah.
know?
Yep.
And for me, for so long, it was like I knew intellectually that's what I needed to do. But
Mhm.
like you, I was trying so hard to let go that I couldn't
Right.
let go. You know, it was like
Yep.
counterintuitive. And
Yep.
the actual like relaxation process is a thing to go faster and be better,
Yep.
which doesn't
100%.
sound right to me, but it's true.
Yep. Depending on which book, school of thought you follow, that can either be called the triad state or flow state.
Yeah. And it's
Mhm.
a beautiful thing, isn't it?
Oh, dude, it's
Yeah.
like you're removed from your body and just
Yeah.
like watching yourself do it. And it's
Yeah.
funny, Jerry Mikulek has that even said that before. He's like, "Man, when it's time to perform and you're being judged, just watch yourself do it instead of forcing yourself to do it." Like,
Right.
ah, that's good wisdom.
Right. I know. It takes a long time to get there. At least it did for me, and I can't it's
Mhm.
not like an on-demand thing, although he did try to teach me the process.
Mhm.
There was a process involved before that that got me into that state, so
Yeah,
but it's like anything else, it has to be practiced
it
over and
has to be
over and over.
practiced.
Yeah.
Recently, and with a decent amount of recency too.
Mhm.
That's if you're seeing if you're seeing stagnation in your growth and your mindset is like locked in and good to go,
Mhm.
look at how often you're shooting. If you're only
Mhm.
actually live fire shooting on the range, uh, like practice like once a month at most, and you're only putting yourself under a pressure situation like a match or some you know instructors quote unquote standards or whatever, something that requires pressure
Mhm.
no more than once a month, then you're just not going to get like you're not going to break that ceiling. It's
Yeah.
got to be a few times a month. We
Yeah.
like none of us got good at driving by only driving a few miles once a month. Like we
That's a
did it
really good
driving
point.
every single day. Like
Yeah,
now
yeah.
we can like put hot sauce on our taco while driving 65 miles on an interstate
Yeah.
and jamming out to our favorite whatever song.
That's so funny.
One day it'll be like that though. If you shoot often enough and in enough pressured situations and things like that, your body will be like, oh, this is normal. We got this. We can do this.
Right, I
And
totally agree. And this is
you're
what I
good.
love about shooting is because the things that I've learned in shooting, this holistic approach that you're talking about,
Mhm.
literally applies to everything else in my life. It's all the
Yeah.
same thing.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. If if you think that identity statement and mission statement can help you with your shooting, just imagine what else it can help you with in life.
Right. Right, because most of us that are, trying to be better shooters. We're also trying to
Mhm.
be better spouses. We're also trying
Yes.
to better ourselves in, in the gym, or there's a million
Everything.
things, right? It's
Mhm.
everything. And that's what that's just like I just feel like I've been beating that drum, ever since probably a couple of years now. I think I'm on the year 4 of
Mhm.
the show. But about a year into the show is when when this like little ding went off in my head. I'm like, wait, that applies to this too, and this,
Mhm.
and this.
Mhm.
And then I'm like, wait, I started seeing this pattern of all these things I was learning in the shooting world that I'm like, man, I applied that to shooting. Why can't I apply that to this? And then it turns out it works.
Yes.
It's all the same thing.
100% it does.
Yeah, that's so cool. Okay, what else do I have on my list of things for Tyler Tharp today? Um, okay, let's go into you said this is something that you're excited about. So I want to make sure that we talk about this too. The future of the training industry. So
Mhm.
what options people have, why quality matters, and then some of the things that you think matter the most. You did talk about misleading marketing earlier. And
Yeah.
so do you see a contradiction in marketing that's out there right now? What can people do to protect themselves against some of that garbage that's out there, and actually develop real skill and have good gear? And I mean, I don't know exactly what kind of marketing you're talking about, so I'll just let you lead that.
Well, I mean, everything comes down to marketing. You can't sell something that no one knows about,
True.
which is my biggest hurdle in life because I am the world's worst salesman.
Oh,
Um, and I don't like marketing. Like,
yeah.
if something is pushed and advertised, and like there's some guy saying how great it is, I'm immediately turned off. Like, I automatically
Mhm.
don't want anything to do with it.
Mhm.
And I guess I guess I have this thought that everyone else feels that way too, and they don't. All right, because if they did, the marketing wouldn't exist to begin with. So I just need to get over that. Um, but yeah, you got to be careful these days, man. Because like, if you go look up Glock 19 holster, one of the first Google ads there's going to be "We the People" and "Alien Gear."
Yeah.
And holy moly, are you getting steered in the wrong direction right off the bat? But if you don't know that, like, I mean, it'd be like, hey, Laura, go find, like, look up, Google the best machinist square that the internet can provide. And if you Googled up that, you're like, oh, cool. Google rates this one. Yeah, must be great. And if
Mhm.
you buy one and you go to a machine shop and you hand it to them, they're probably going to laugh at you because you're not in that industry and you don't know any better. Heck, I
Mhm.
wouldn't know. There's probably
Mhm.
10 different brands of machinist squares that machinists use, and they're like all have their preferences of which one's better and this and that and this and that. And then there's probably a
It's a
list.
disservice to people, it really is.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
100%
that's
is
what
so
bothers me the
misleading.
most about it.
Yeah. So, and then you got all these Instagram famous, TikTok famous, whatever. Like, I called out Caleb, whatever his name is. I don't remember his last name. Famous TikTok guy on Instagram the other day because he's shilling for We the People, and he referenced PewView as a professional end user that's also uses them. I was like, they pay you to use it. Y'all
Mhm.
care more about money than like the actual quality of the product. And then he's like, well, sounds like you don't know how to maintenance your product. And I was like, dude, you can buy a Harbor Freight tool and maintenance all you want. That don't make a dang. It's a Harbor Freight tool. It's eventually going to fail and it's going to fail much quicker than another quality tool. So anyway, it's hard to decipher what's good and what's quality, especially when your favorite entertainment star is being paid to promote this nonsense.
Mhm.
So more often than not, do I see a lot of really crappy product manufacturers that have amazing marketing.
Mhm.
And all too often, the inverse is absolutely true. Like, these amazing manufacturers that are putting out quality stuff and truly care about their customer base. No offense, but they suck at marketing. Uh, I don't know who at Google you got to pay to bump We the People and Alien Gear off the list and put you in there, but like, you need to go figure that out. I don't know
Yeah.
how this works. That ain't my job. I don't know.
Yeah.
All I know is you're at like the bottom of the list of Google recommendations, and that's when I'm on page 3. Like,
Yeah.
no one buys off of page 3 of a Google search.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, okay. So let's say you are one of those, first year into, you just bought a gun, you've taken one class, right? And you went to the class and didn't even have a holster because you didn't know you even needed one.
Absolutely.
That's normal.
Hmm.
I mean, thankfully, my students ask me, where do I go? And I'm
Sure.
so happy whenever people ask.
Hmm.
But if this is just like generic audience here that we're talking about, what are like top 3 things they should be looking for, like in a quality holster, to make sure that they're not getting, because like, I don't know about you, but like the first year that I went to buy holsters and I didn't know what I didn't know, I wasted a ton of money,
Yeah.
of money.
I owned 2
Holsters.
Alien Gears, one of those stupid clip draw things, one of those stupid little Kydex trigger guard covers with some paracord. Like I've owned the VersaCarry thing where you stick a plug in the barrel of the gun. Like I owned all the dumb stuff
Yeah.
15 years
And
ago,
that's
right?
why we're talking about this. It's because we've been through this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
was
had
a
the
good
belly
boy. Yeah.
band. I had the belly band without
Uh-huh.
any kind of a Kydex insert in it. I was just carrying it around, and then it had the thing. It would have taken me like 10 seconds just to
Uh-huh.
get the thing off of the thing to get the gun in the first place.
Oh my God, I hate those so much. And every
Oh,
other ad on YouTube right now is that stupid Vanish holster thing. And it's got some dude claiming to be somebody important, like some operator thing, saying, I wish I had this 20 years ago. I'm like, you're an idiot. Shut up. Um,
you are very passionate about this, aren't you?
oh, so,
Okay, so rule number 1, make sure that the
trigger
holster
guard.
actually covers the trigger guard. There's
Yeah.
number 1.
Yep.
Rule number 1, it has to cover the trigger guard. That's the whole reason for the holster, right? The
Yep.
number 1 most important thing the holster does is it covers the trigger guard
It's gotta be
so that
safe.
the trigger cannot be pulled by
Inadvertently. Hmm.
inadvertently. And so
Yeah.
it cannot be covered by material that something can get
Flexible,
through.
that fatigues easy,
Yes.
things of that
I know
nature.
this
Yep.
is common sense to many people that are watching, but to some people that are watching, it might not be. And that is
Right.
so important for their safety. It's
Hmm.
so important. Yeah. Okay.
So easy way to look at a holster. If you'll just look at a holster and you'd be like, all right, what if this one thing fails? Is there something else that's a contingency that'll at least hold it together until I can get the thing fixed? Case in point, any holster that's only held together with one screw, like if you're looking at it from the side of it, if there's one screw below the trigger guard and that's it, we the people, say no. Because guess what? Humans build the thing. It's a human built product with a human built made materials, all the things. They usually don't put thread locker on the screws. Can't anyway because they're supposed to be adjustable retention. It's gonna loosen up and come out, and then like your gun can come out of it in a way where the trigger guard is completely exposed.
Mhm.
Does it have a crappy little plastic clip on it? Right, so like covering the gun with plastic is fine, but the thing that we're mounting it to truly does need to be a little bit more substantial. That most plastic clips are crap. Most of them. There are exceptions like the grip hook and the RCS claw, but generally speaking, most of them are crap. Any of the spring steel clips that you see are generally speaking going to be good. Again, it needs to be held on. Each clip needs to be held on with 2 screws. Look at Alien Gear, Crossbead, whatever. All their clips are only held on with 1 screw. And I can't tell you how many times I've just pulled one of those things out of a box and the clip on it goes just to spinning around because it's so loose. I'm like, you can't put that in service. We now have to maintain it, and it's going to come loose again. Like that's annoying. I don't need something that I need to maintain every
Mhm.
7 days.
Mhm.
So look for redundancies. There needs to be redundancies. There needs to be quality trigger guard protection. There needs to be quality fit when you put it in there.
Yes.
It actually
Retention.
needs to hold it properly.
Mhm.
It needs to be
No
made
fabric.
for your
No
yeah,
fabric of any
no
kind.
fabric.
No.
Needs to be made for your specific gun. Guns
Mhm.
are holsters should be tailor fit to the gun. I was searching on Facebook Marketplace the other day and I come across a leather holster and it said, "Got a 9mm holster for you for sale." And I'm like, "Oh my God, I used to make holsters." And I can't tell you the number of times I've gotten a Facebook message or a text to be like, "Hey man, can you make a holster for my 40?" Yeah, probably so. But I need to know what kind of gun it is.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, it's a Taurus 40.
The
I'm like,
black
all right,
one.
okay, cool. Which one? I'm like, oh my God, just send me a picture. Please, for the love of
Okay.
God, just send
Well,
me a picture.
shameless plug since we're talking about holsters, and you can plug your favorite manufacturers too. But
Yeah,
my
sure.
two go-to are Haven Defense Company,
Mm-hmm.
Solid, and Filster. Those are
Yep.
my two go-to holster companies, and I know there's a lot of other good ones out there. Who's the
Long
one
list.
Riley's associated with? Is that KG Armory?
KSG Armory.
KSG
And yep.
Armory. Yeah.
So I'm an affiliate with the whole conceal carry umbrella brand of brands. um and then Brent Hickman of Haven Defense hooked me up recently, and I've done some testing for some of his holsters. He produces a quality product, and he feels a niche
Mm.
in the industry, instead of just making generic stuff, which he does make the generic useful stuff, but he also makes the more niche stuff for guys like me. And I very much appreciate that. So my go-tos are the KSG Armory and the Haven Defense, like what you were saying.
Yeah. I've been using their holsters for so long that
Mm-hmm.
they finally just
Mm-hmm.
approached me and they were like, "Do you want an affiliate code?"
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. Yeah.
And they're good
Yep.
friends of mine too. So I
Speaking
trust
of,
them as people, not just as a company. If you've been listening to Defenders Live and something in you knows it's time to go deeper, not just in your training, but in your life, become a paid subscriber of Defenders Live. Each month, we meet for a live group call, having real conversations about physical growth, emotional discipline, and spiritual strength. You'll be part of a growing community of people just like you, committed to becoming true defenders of life and of their families. This isn't about being perfect, it's about showing up, doing the work, and not doing it alone. So go to defenders-live.com and become a paid subscriber and take your next step toward becoming the kind of defender this world desperately needs. Okay, so let's dig in. Is there any more to this topic that you wanted to touch on before we move on?
Marketing.
Yeah.
We started talking about how people suck at marketing themselves. Generally speaking, like if you're a quality instructor, generally speaking, you suck at marketing yourself. No offense, Brian Hill sucks at telling people how good of a coach he is.
Yeah, he will
And it's
not
kind
tell
of
people that. Thank
it's
God
kind of
Shelley does, though.
oh, does a great job. Oh God, I'm having a brain fart. Personal survival solutions. I was just hanging out with them at the Kerwit. Their last name's Kerwit. Anyway,
Kerwin?
same thing. The dude
Yeah,
is a
Shane
19 Delta
Kerwin.
19 X-ray guy. Say again?
Yeah. Shane Kerwin.
Shane and
Kelly.
Thank you. If people had numbers instead of names, I would be able to remember this way better.
Yeah, you're saying he's not good at tooting his own horn either.
No, and he is he is a great instructor with a vast wealth of knowledge.
Yeah.
Huge wealth of knowledge.
Adam's not so good at it either. He does it once in a while, but he's not good at it. Yeah.
No. But everybody can go to Instagram right now, and there's going to be all the Instagram instructors your heart desires. Mm-hmm. You're not going to see a lot of Adam Winches and Shanes and Brian Hills on that list. Mm-hmm. Like even still, I have to do a lot of scrolling just to find Tim Herron videos. For some reason, his doesn't pop up a ton.
Mm.
Riley Bowman.
It could be they're too busy being instructors. I don't know. I mean, I told Adam this too. I'm like, Adam, if you had the money to literally have a film crew just follow you around everywhere and then have a social media department to just clip up stuff and just post it, it would
eventually pay for itself.
Be one of those people. Yeah, but who has the money to do that? I mean, firearms instructors as a profession, let's be honest. People don't do it for the money. They do it because they have a heart to serve people and a mission behind it. And that's just the truth for most people.
I'll tell you who does it well. And he's an exception. Rick Crawley of Achilles Heel Tactical.
I'll have to look
he has done a really good job at cultivating an amazing community, putting out quality information, quality classes, building a cadre, and putting out a ton of really good marketing, social media, videos, all the thing. He truly has cracked the code of doing all the things very well.
Is he doing it all by himself though? That's the question.
No, of course not.
It takes a team
Uh,
of people, I think.
yeah, the cadre, the Achilles heel cadre. Like it's
Yeah,
all
yeah.
got to
It
be a
does.
team.
It takes a team of people, and this
Mm-hmm.
community, that's why we all stick together is because we
Mm-hmm.
need each other. It really is.
Mm-hmm.
And I noticed that Concealed Carry's been putting out
More and
reels
more.
from their Guardian conference, which have been
Yeah.
great and
Mm-hmm.
also highly controversial, which has caused
Oh yeah.
tons of engagement and tons of reach. And I think that's a good
Yep.
thing,
Oh, I got
Um,
so many people smack talking me because it is my belief that first focal plane LPVOs only fit a very small niche of applications. And generally speaking, second focal plane LPVOs do a much better job at doing all the things on a general purpose rifle.
uh-huh.
And I got told by every neckbeard on the internet that I don't know what I was talking about, that first focal plane, everything is what the professionals use and this and that. I'm like, man, I guess I forgot that I was getting paid to do this. I must not be a professional. Like
Yeah.
I don't know.
Everyone has
Semantics
an
though.
opinion, Tyler. I mean, that AJ Zito video that went,
Right.
I would
Oh
say it
my
went
god.
viral. I mean, I even chimed in on it. I had to.
Uh-huh.
Like, it was
Mm-hmm.
so bad, the comments. I couldn't
Yep.
just stand there and
Yep.
just not say anything. And
Oh,
I
there's
was
one
I
time.
was encouraged by all of the people, again, this community of people that we know who
Mm-hmm.
stood behind AJ
Yep.
and defended him. And I don't even think AJ once made a comment. But
No,
all of the
I
people
don't
that
think
love
he ever looks
AJ,
at social media.
they went to bat for him, and
Yeah.
I loved seeing that. That was beautiful.
So a lot of times I'll just go in there and stir the pot just to get people commenting because I know that
Yeah,
pays Riley
unfortunately.
and
Yeah.
Jacob. I'm like, look, I may not have anything valuable to add to the but at least I can go stir the pot and generate more clicks and
Engagement.
comments and revenue for them.
Yeah. Yeah, and they had to know when they clipped those up that they were gonna get all kinds of, feedback
Yeah,
from it. That's the way the internet is, but
it's just the way the internet is.
it's crazy, dude. Like, I don't even wanna look sometimes. It just gets so bad. It's just,
Yeah.
like, the depravity of people sometimes, is too much for me, and I have to step away for a
And
while.
somewhere recently in my life, I realized the internet's not a real world.
Yeah.
Like I truly realized it. And I'm like, these people that are spending all this time on the internet, man, they're a bunch of people that aren't doing anything good in life. So
Mhm.
like they're just tippy tapping on their phone or the keyboard or whatever. They're not actually out there doing the thing
Mhm.
with us. They're not putting in any of the work that they claim to be doing. Like they're just
And
running
to
their
your
mouth.
point, a lot of people that are out there doing the thing aren't online as much because
Exactly.
they're so busy out there doing the thing.
Yeah.
They gotta have people to do the thing for them, you know? So that's exactly the way that it
100%.
is. Yeah, totally. So, okay, cool. All right. Was there anything else you wanted to talk about on that topic?
Oh, no, just be careful on who you listen to on Instagram because just because
Yeah.
people are like, "Oh, this is a great product," don't forget they're being paid to say that, not because they truly think it is.
I got a couple other questions here before we wrap up. I don't even know how long we've been on here. I think an hour.
47
Um,
minutes.
but you said that we didn't have a hard cutoff, so we'll see if we end up landing around an hour or not. I don't know. Um, okay, let's talk about, because you said it was okay to talk about this. You said
Mhm,
that when you were 19, you experienced profound personal loss. And the
mhm,
reason I want you to talk about this is because I really want to know how that shaped your perspective
mm,
later in life. I mean, like, I really want to know the journey that you went through, what that looked like, what you learned from it, and now how maybe if you have, I mean, I don't know how you couldn't if you've experienced profound loss, integrated that into your own experience and your own life, which now helps other people.
mhm.
You know, I want to know about that.
So, the too long didn't read version of it is, it took me a long time to learn how to live in the moment, and as we talked about earlier, learning how to live in the moment is another one of those keys to breaking through, performance ceilings or plateaus or however you wanna call it.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see. At 17 years old, I signed up for the army. Shipped off in 18 when I was 18. Broke my leg in AIT. Went through the whole rehab thing. Ended up getting med boarded out. I was discharged May 15th of 2009. Got home on the 16th, and the guy I call my dad. biological father's still around. But the guy I call my dad that had been in my life for the past 9 years, he married my mom right before I was 10. He died that night that I got back home. And a few weeks later, the legal system that we have, because we don't have a justice system at all. The legal system that we have took my brother away from us because my mom technically never legally adopted him, and sent him off with his biological mother. And they don't like us. We'll leave it at that. They just don't like us for whatever reason. So I went from having a picture perfect life, a brother, a mom, a dad. My mom was an undercover narc agent for our state agency. My dad was a homicide narcotics detective, as well as a patrol cop the last 2 years of his life. He transferred over to the SO. But anyway, my mom got into a fight and did some other things and whatnot. Ended up, long story short, 3 years into her LE career that she had worked 10 years to get into with CJ degree, paralegal degree, things of that nature, as a single mom. She had that ripped away from her because she broke her back. And 3 surgeries later, she's medically retired. She's got rods and screws holding her lower back together. But anyway, that happened 3 years after she married my dad and, like, you know, did the law enforcement thing. So the very thing she worked for 10 years, she only got to enjoy for 3. And then, you know, she lived her whole life looking for, you know, the quote unquote perfect man, and she found him. He dies 9 years later. And hell, I signed up for the Army. I was like, man, this is the thing I want to do. Right? I want to retire National Guard, doing this thing. I want to go in law enforcement. I did as an MP in the Army, all the things, right? Well, shoot, man, 2.5 years into that, no, Tyler, that ain't what you're gonna do. We're gonna rip away this lifelong plan that you thought you had, and then we're gonna rip apart your family and leave you the way you started. You're starting all the way back over again at 19 years old, just you and your mom. And that embedded in me that this belief that everything is short-lived, happiness is extremely temporary. So I never allowed myself to stay any one place for very long, because I didn't want those terms to end on someone. Like, I didn't want the thing to end on someone else's terms. I wanted it to end on my terms. So I had this false control over my happiness, right? Whatever.
Makes sense.
And during all that, by the way, I lost my faith in God. So I went from not really knowing God at all, but I knew he existed, to being an atheist. Went through all the typical things that hard-headed 20-year-old men go through. At 28 years old, I was saved again. Or actually, at the end of right before I turned 28, I was saved. I went through anxiety meds, all the things. Ended up actually going through withdrawals, like really bad, coming off of all that stuff. Thankfully, God pulled me out of that, and it's been a work. It's been a work ever since. I don't think we ever fully arrive with, like, perfect mental and spiritual health. Like, because we're human, we're bound by our flesh, but we can work and pray and be fortunate enough and blessed enough to have a spouse to hold our hand and help us and motivate us along the way as well. Which I got married, 2.5 years ago, to a wonderful woman. We're both our first spouse. So she's my first wife. I'm her first husband. We don't have any kids or anything like that. So
she is as cute as a button. I just want to say that publicly.
Yeah, I bat above my league, or however the saying goes. I don't know. I don't understand sports a lot. But so yeah, and all that shaped me into a very difficult person to be around. Went through a lot of different friends just because I was, again, talking about things are temporary, and I want to end things on my terms to create this fake happiness that I thought I could have. And I never could live in the moment, never could stay anywhere for very long, anything like that. So working myself out of that has also allowed me, again, to break through some performance gain, ceilings and plateaus and whatnot, because I truly am learning how to live in the moment. The couple of the biggest things that's helped me do that is, one, regaining my faith, being saved. Uh, and then my wife, her motivation and her patience with me has
Mm,
been absolutely paramount. She
mm.
she reminds me to stay strong in faith. She reminds me to pray. Like she is absolutely my rock. So if I could give anyone any bit of information, it's find your savior, believe in it, and find your person that you're meant to be with in life. Wife, husband, whatever. Make sure that it is a person that makes you want to be a better person for them, not for yourself. Which was again
Mm.
the whole thing I did in life was trying to be a better person for my own personal gain, and that got me nowhere.
Yeah, that's really
So
interesting because the same
yeah,
reason that you live for Christ is the same reason you live for your wife, which is to serve.
to serve. Yeah, and I
Yeah.
believe that so much that I even have Serviam tattooed on the back of my arm, and it's
Really?
in concrete because I consider that my foundation, along with Psalms 144 1 and the Constitution. It's all bedded in concrete as a foundation. So Serviam is what Saint Michael said to Lucifer as Lucifer was getting basically banished from heaven. He was chanting, "I refuse to serve," and this is all in Latin, so like this is the English version, but
Yeah.
Lucifer was chanting that he refuses to serve God any longer. And Saint Michael, because they were fighting back and forth, and Saint Michael said, "I will serve." Well, in the language that they had at the time, or as far as we know, right? It's serviam, so I will serve.
So you changed your focus from being self-serving to serving others.
Yeah. Yep.
And if you were to compare yourself now to that 20-year-old kid, what
Oh, I'd slap the crap out of him if I could meet him. Like, you're an
well, here's
idiot.
the thing. Like, I think it's easy to look at our backgrounds. I'll just speak for myself, look at my background and think, what purpose did that serve? Why did I go through that? Why did that happen to me? Or why was I just so dumb? Right.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really
Yeah.
interesting right now. We are just beginning the study of Abraham
Mm-hmm.
in the Bible. And it turns out that God amazingly uses any background of any person in unbelievable ways. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
there's stories over and over and over again in the Bible of people that
Yep.
we as humans would look at and go, they're not qualified for that. Are you
Mhm.
kidding me? But
Yep.
that's not what God says, right?
Yeah.
And
God,
it
God
and
says
every
he.
time it blows me away.
God specifically says, "I will qualify the ones I call. I will not call the ones that are already qualified." Yep. I forget who wrote that, what book that came from, but what verse that is. But yeah,
I
he
don't know either.
qualifies the called, not calls the qualified. Yep. Builds
That's
perspective, I think. If we
yeah.
go through our whole life, just based on like a 5-year perspective of of life, and just stretch that out to 70 something years,
Mhm.
we would get nowhere. We would get nowhere. We wouldn't appreciate things as much. So I appreciate the life I have now, I think, way more than I would have if I didn't go through all those things.
Mm. Yeah. Hindsight is a really interesting thing, and I've often thought that
Hmm.
before too. And I also think of all the things I prayed for in, a decade or two ago that he actually provided me with,
Hmm.
and I realize now that that was him the whole time and I just didn't see it.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, it's pretty amazing. What a story you have, Tyler. What a life you have lived.
Yeah. Yeah. It's been a roller coaster, that's for sure. But I mean,
Yeah.
everybody has their own roller coaster.
Yeah.
Uh,
How old are you now, may I ask?
I'm about to be 36.
Oh, wow. Okay. I thought you were older than that. Okay, so 36. Wow.
I feel older, I promise.
And maybe you're an old soul.
And all of that time, I've actually like spun a vertebrae out of place. I've broken so many bones, torn tendons,
Wait, wait, wait. What were you doing in order for that to happen? Or do I
falling
even
off
ask?
the roofs, the army, uh, jujitsu,
Oh,
all
yeah.
sorts of things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Not saying no to anything. That's that's a blessing and a curse.
Trying everything at least once,
Yeah,
just for the sake of
absolutely.
saying you did it.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm like that. But that's probably why you're so good. That's probably why you're a master level in USPSA and
Yeah.
IDPA is that you are, it seems like, based on all the things that you've said and watching you shoot, you seem like the type of guy that is a risk taker. Like,
Oh yeah. Yeah. Me and my mom actually are the same way. We jumped off the stratosphere together in Vegas years ago at the Multi-Gun Nationals.
wow.
Shoot, this was probably 14, 15 years ago. Yeah, I've always been that way. I always joke with my wife. I was like, "Hey, when we're gonna go sky jumping, yeah, skydiving." Excuse me, had a kind of a brain fart there.
Guy jumping.
Skydiving. I'm like, nope, I am not jumping out of a plane. I'll record you though. I was like, all right, well, eventually I'm going to take you up on that. But yeah, so the master thing, that's only recently. Like I said, I just did
Yeah.
that Sunday. This like 4 days ago.
Yeah.
And I've been pushing for master level. Well, I've been lazily, I got to be honest with myself here. I set a goal to be master like years ago, three years ago, whatever. But I never put it in the live fire practice to do it. And I never shot more than 5 or 6 matches a year to do that. So like dry fire alone did not get me there. So in the past 6 weeks, some life changes have happened. And I've been afforded the ability and the time and the resources to go shoot 2 to 3 matches a month and actually like live fire practice at least once a week. And I did that. And like I in that 6-week process, I literally saw a 6% jump. I went from 81% A class
Wow.
to 87% master class.
No kidding.
So yeah, and that's one of the cool things about USPSA. It's the metrics. It's so quantifiable. You can't there are people that did cheat the system. Like I know those people and they got caught. But generally speaking, you can't cheat this system. You can't just go in and make up a number and say you are whatever you are. No, you got to prove it, and you got to consistently prove it too. So one of the cool things about that.
One last question. I forgot that this was a question, or I would have weaved it in better, but it's random. That just made me think of it. Because I was talking to Adam the other day. I'm like, did you see Tyler made master? That's so awesome. He's like, find out what he's doing. Find out what his routine is. Find out, like, he wants to know all the secret sauce. Do you have any secret sauce to share with us?
Yeah, I was actually talking to a buddy of mine over in Georgia yesterday morning about this. If being a very good shooter is a goal of yours, I hate to say this, but dry fire ain't going to get you there. It is simply a supplement. All right. You can go buy a car driving simulator.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah, you can spend all the time you want on that bad boy, but it don't give you no G-force. It does not give you any road feedback, no steering feedback, gas pedal, brake pedal feedback. You can't hear the engine. You can't hear the wind noise. You can't hear the screeching of the tires. Like you can't feel all those required things to make you a good actual driver. And then the same is true with shooting. You're going to have to go put in a few hundred rounds at least once a month with a goal. Like you're going to have to push yourself. You can't just go shoot whatever your favorite target is. You can't just go shoot comfortably.
Right.
Because no progress is made in your comfort zone. None. Never will be. You know what's made in your comfort zone? Fat storage in the body. Sitting on your couch eating potatoes makes you store all those things.
Oh, that's a quote of the day. Quote of the day. Okay.
But anyway, go shoot more. That's all it is to, and push yourself as hard as you can possibly do it. If you want a regimented self plug, sorry, but if you want a roadmap for this, like, hey, I don't know exactly how to do this. Like, sure, I'll go shoot, but like, what's the details here? I need a roadmap. Yeah, no problem, man. Email me, Tyler@synergyshooting.com. Tell me what your goals are. All right. You gotta know where you are and what you want. I can't just make stuff up.
Great time to plug your website too.
Yeah, perfect. Tell me what you're shooting and what your goal is. And I will write you there's 2 options. One, I can just write you a dry fire program. And then I can also write you a live fire program. or we can go into a full-on 6-week hybrid coaching where I give you live and dry fire assignments that you have to actually go do and film and send back for coaching and all the things. So like, there's your 2 options right there.
That's cool. I'm glad you offer that for people.
Yeah.
I really think that that's powerful. So for those that are listening and not watching, you can go to synergyshooting.com.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure you have a contact like part of your website.
There's a contact page.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then he's also on Facebook and Instagram under Synergy Training Group and on YouTube, Synergy Training Group. So what kind of videos do you have on your YouTube channel?
Oh, some are goofy. Some are just like me doing dry fire practice to a Morgan Wallen song. And then some of it's like actually good information. Like there's one, I forget the name of it. But like if you're a nerd like me, there's one that talks about, you know how we say, well, you should shoot the pace of your sights.
Uh-huh.
Yes, I get that. But like there's people like me that is way too analytical. I've done a personality trait thing, and like my top one was analytical.
Oh.
Anyway, it's technically shooting at the pace of minimal confirmation. And so like I draw on a whiteboard and I go through sight disturbance and and I do different colors of lines of like, all right, if you shoot here, you're shooting too fast, not waiting for the sights to settle. If you shoot here, you're over confirming and waiting too long. Optimal shooting is done here, where the minimum amount of confirmation is needed within as it relates to total sight disturbance. Because like no matter what gun you shoot, none of them shoot flat. They ain't laser beams. They're all like, it doesn't matter what you shoot. You're going to have sight disturbance, some more than others, some less than others. But like, you got to understand that sight disturbance and be able to correlate how much refinement in settling that sight to the target at hand is needed, and know that anything more is wasting time and anything less is reckless. So that's a bunch of nerdy way of saying shoot the pace of your sights.
Yeah, but you are incredibly efficient at that. Yeah. It's so much fun to watch you shoot.
I'm pushing for GM. I'm going to make a hard push for Grandmaster this year. And then I will finally be able to accept that compliment. So I got 8% more to go. So
wow. So maybe the fact that you have more time on your hands right now is a blessing in disguise.
It is. So I made master in limited optics with a 2011. So I'm going to put that down, go grab a Gen 6 Glock, and Gucci it all out for carry optics, which basically just means it's a regular gun that isn't single action only, and you can't have a mag well. And then go make a hard push for GM and carry optics, which is one of the biggest divisions there is. The hardest people to shoot against are usually in carry optics and open, but I ain't spending $7,000 on an open gun. So that's out.
Yeah.
Plus, it's not practical enough for me. Like, I get it. It's cool. It's fun. It's just like the Top Fuel NHRA drag cars. It's cool, but you can't drive it on the street.
Yeah.
Open guns are cool and all, but I can't stuff that sucker in my pants and go do a gunfight with it very well. Like, that would suck.
I just love the way you phrase things. It cracks me up. Oh my gosh. That's so funny. So if people want to learn from you, learn more about you, they go to synergyshooting.com. Are there places you're planning on being in 2026 where people can meet you, talk to you, train with you? Are any highlights you want to?
So if you like to host a class, I'm open for travel right now. I'll drive anywhere within 12 hours of central Mississippi. And if it's a big enough class, whatever, I'll fly beyond that. It's really hard to fly with rifles. So if you want me for a rifle class, keep that in mind. Like, it's kind of a pain in the butt to drag 2 rifles and all the gear for that on an airplane. But I'll be at the Girl and the Gun conference again, doing the rifle thing. That's the end of April. And then I'll be at the Guardian conference in Oklahoma in September. And I may or may not be at Ohio Range Day and a couple of like state tactical police officer conferences. So
cool. Cool. This has been fun. So we went a lot of different places in this conversation. I mean, something for everybody, I think.
It's a holistic conversation. Comprehensive.
Yeah. So how do we sum this up? Do you have any parting thoughts for the audience before we leave, or anything we didn't cover that you want to make sure you say?
Nothing that we missed or anything. I'd like to encourage people to stop being scared of failure. Like
Mm,
you're only going to be bad at something for a short amount of time. Like I can't remember the last time I was bad at drawing a gun. Like that was a very short amount of time in my life. It doesn't take long to get reasonably good at something, right? You're not gonna go from learning how to dribble a basketball to being a Michael Jordan in a year. But like you don't need to be a Michael Jordan to be a competent defender of you and your loved ones,
mhm,
or any innocent party that you find yourself having to defend. Like you just need to be a competent guy or gal with a gun that's readily available that's quality with quality ammo and a quality holster, and like present that sucker and do the job.
mhm,
And that doesn't take a whole lot of work. It really doesn't. You just have to get through that fear of failure of getting started and putting in the reasonable amount of work. You don't have to obsess over it. 5-10 minutes of dry fire a day or every other day will get you there in a year, and you'll find success quicker than you think you will.
Yeah, and I made a post a couple of days ago, and I don't know if you saw it or not, but it was just a short encouragement to people because a lot of people are starting new things since this is the first of the year right now.
Mhm. Mhm.
And my encouragement to them was just accept the fact that you know it's going to be uncomfortable and messy. And it's
Yeah.
like, just
Yeah.
know that's part of the process. And
Mhm.
for me, just embracing that, not even, okay, the word's not embrace, accepting that
Accepting.
and
Mhm.
knowing that that is just part of the process
Sure.
makes the process for me a whole lot easier. And usually then I can move through that phase of it a lot more quickly if I just am
Mhm.
like, yep, this freaking sucks. I worked out
Yep.
in the gym yesterday or the day before and I had leg day and I was angry while I was working out. I was so mad because I had to go down in weight because I'd been off for 2 weeks and I was
Mhm.
so mad. And every time I get mad, in a Brian Hill class, he goes, "Good. I'm glad you're mad because you know what that means if you have that kind of anger? It means that your body is saying you need to take action, you need to do
Mhm.
something." And
Yep.
that's the motivation and the fuel that gives you the
Yes.
drive to do better, right? And I'd always
100%.
looked at getting angry in that way as a negative thing, and now when I look at anger, I get excited about it because I'm like, "Yeah, now that means
Mhm.
I'm going to go do something about this,
Yeah.
Status quo is not good enough anymore."
Yep.
So, yeah.
It's funny you say that. One of the things I went through in my 20s was anger issues. And eventually I'll get around to writing a book, and it's going to be titled something along the lines like Angry Ambition, or like From Anger to Ambition, or something to those
Mm,
lines. Like, anger can be a consuming enemy.
mm,
But it can also be an awesome motivation if done right. And that is
yeah,
a hard line to walk.
yeah, totally get that. That's so crazy that you just said that because I would never
Mhm.
have guessed that about you. You must be a totally different person than you used to be.
Yeah. I tell my wife all the time, I was like, there's no way you would have married me 10 years ago. No way. Nobody would have.
Wow, I'm just so thankful for the growth that you've made
Yeah.
and now the fact that you're able to help other people is truly admirable. Really,
Yep.
really love that. When that book comes out, I wanna hear about it.
We'll check back in about 10 more years.
2 more years? Okay. Oh my gosh. Well, cool. Well, thank you for your time today, Tyler.
Yeah.
It was a fun, fun interview. I really appreciate it.
Thanks, Miss Laura. I appreciate your time.